So, after a somewhat magical journey of saying yes to a number of opportunities, I found myself last week at a business mastery program in the States. And it was a really interesting and inspiring experience. It's a very heart centered program for building relationships in business. And there were a number of exercises that we did. And there were a number of magical things that happened at this conference that were completely outside the program, of course, because the world is magical. But there was a moment then that I wanted to share with you because I think it's the most profound thing that I learned when I was there. We were doing a role-playing exercise to my role playing was I decided I was going to sell a cacao ceremony to a conference event manager as a team building exercise. And during that exercise, I found myself distilling this beautiful ceremony of connection and heart centered discovery into sharing a cup of hot chocolate and sitting around in a circle and talking to each other. And it was so brutal. And I crashed and burned at that exercise twice. And after, I found myself really beating myself up. And I thought, oh, it's just, the Olympian in Denise. She doesn't like to fail. But I knew there was more. And after the exercises, the facilitator, to get the energy up in the room, he had us do an exercise, an affirmational exercise about being a master, because truthfully, we all are masters. So on the third affirmation, and the room is pumped, and I sit down, and I literally hear my heart say to me, "You are a light worker here to shift the consciousness of humanity." And it was like I was being scolded. And when I felt that energy, I was sitting in that chair and I started to cry. And I thought, this is what happened, is that my soul was literally kicking my ass because I had completely dropped out of alignment with my own integrity by trying to explain to someone who I am and what I do by just distilling it into nothing. And it was a profound moment because what I learned is that I will never, ever compromise who I have become, who I have worked to be, and the truth of who I am, which I guess at the highest level is a light worker who's here to shift the consciousness of humanity. And of course, beneath that, there are all kinds of wonderful ways that I am bringing my own wisdom, my own spirit, my own light into the world. But it really was profound. And I, from that moment on, pledged I would never diminish what I do in order to explain to someone who might not understand. And I think I'm sharing this because it's really important on this journey of awakening. It can be scary and we can doubt who we are. And then when we finally step into who we are, we're afraid that no one's going to understand. Or the people that we think are important, the people pleasers in us. And it's taken me quite a while to sort of embrace who I used to be and leave it there, integrate it to who I am now, and truly own the spiritual, beautiful, shining being that I am. And so that's my lesson from that. And I share it to you. And I remind you that even though it's scary sometimes, it's worth it. Like, do not compromise who you are. It doesn't feel good. It definitely didn't feel good the other day. And so now I know I'm not going to do it anymore.